Hello, hello, hello. Hope everyone is good. Do me a favor. If the music's too loud, not loud enough. Yeah. Hope everyone's good. Monday blues be gone, indeed. Monday blues are gone. We're gonna draw. Okay, so this is a bonus stream, right? Well, we call it a bonus stream. Official announcement. We're going to be back every Monday and every Thursday. Back to twice a week for now. Until I tire of it. So yeah, Mondays. Here we are. What we're doing today is actually we're hitting some poses that we've done in the past, and when they, you know, with more streams, maybe there'll be a bit more of this. But I really love these poses, and I'd love to have another go at them. Stream stuttering at your end again, Lulu. Apologies. I don't know. Hopefully, it will calm down, as it did last time. And in the meantime, hopefully by Thursday, I can troubleshoot and try and figure out why it would be doing that, because there is nothing at my end that's changed. Let me know if it sorts itself out too, will you? Okay, so we've just got 4 poses today. I think it's a decent amount. Streams stuttered here for a moment, but it's back again, looking good. Thank you, Rick, for the heads up. All right. So here we go. Let's do this. Stream or normal. Thank you, Mila. I'll hit the timer. It's going to be about, you know, all these poses are tending to be about the same length, give or take. So we're going to aim for 15 to 20, I'm guessing. I think this is a pose that really requires us to draw the entire form. So with that in mind, I just want to make sure everything's going to fit. Great shape language on this model. Always enjoy drawing her. So this right leg's quite foreshortened. A little bit too much headroom on Richard's shot. That's just an aesthetic thing. Oh, on my camera. There you go. Very possible. Yes, it does look a little bit. That's the Monday aspect ratio. How am I? I'm doing good, thanks, Mila. I hope you're doing well too. Yeah, just still kind of ramping up into this and getting up to speed with this new year. Yeah, I can't complain. You know, really. Well, I could. But, you know, I'll resist. Look at that lovely secondary volume there, peeking out on the leg. Yeah, Monday and Thursday. Well, Canvas, we used to do the 2 a week all the time. And I was at one point, like middle of last year, I think I was getting a little burnt out, so I decided to cut it down to once a week. But I don't know, I'm feeling inspired. We don't know how long it will last. Inspiration tends to be fleeting, but you know. I also like the idea with going back to twice a week. It gives us an opportunity to do like a session that focuses on something, for example, like hands, right? Like it just gives us, because when I'm only streaming once a week, I get kind of reluctant to dedicate a stream to, like a body part or something. It will just give us a bit more leeway to play. Nerbrium. Yeah, this model's design language or shape language is just fantastic. It's so easy to draw, Hey Shanice, welcome. You can. The thing is with the reference, it's available for all the members. So if you choose to hit the join button below, you would you'll have access to every live stream reference, all for about $3 a month, I think, which I think is fairly fair. If you become a member, then you'll follow a link in the community chat, which is available to members, and that brings you to a link to the reference that's hosted on my website. So yeah, that's what's going on there. So tricep coming out this way. Thank you, Margot. Yeah, look, I like the idea of doing the 2 a week. Push all of us, right? We picking out the noob. What we got? We got issues. Take care of it there, Lulu, will you? Yeah, we've drawn this model before, Canvas, a few times. Possibly before you became a member, but she's just always a treat to draw. So we've got the rib cage here, but actually just kind of to the side here, we've got a little bit of compression, right? Just a little bit of extra weight there. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the lag. The setup changed nothing, but you know how these things go. Like, you update a piece of software and it decides to change settings for you. But I'm really not sure. I'm just going to have a root around tomorrow. I'll figure it out, hopefully get it resolved. Look at the lovely kind of hanging quality of the tricep on this side. It's the weight of it hanging in here. Coming to the elbow, sitting about here. Forearm going up that way. Some very striking tone on this one too. I'll get into that shortly. All right. Well, that's lovely to hear, Whitney. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it is lovely to be here. I agree. What better way to spend a Monday evening? So we got a heavy cast shadow coming across from this arm, obviously. Yeah, we're really going to want to kind of obviously show that. That's sitting there. Yeah, the shadow mapping is going to be, and the choices that you make with shapes for it are going to be quite important. Okay. Should we draw infants one day? Is that a thing? Be taking a break if such a thing occurs. The thing is, it could potentially be a thing, but yeah, I don't know if it's something that like, look, I think drawing babies, there's something to be said because the proportions are obviously very different. And you know, then you get into that whole discussion about the proportions and just, you know, you kind of, the reason that Bugs Bunny and cartoon characters like that have the proportions that they do is because it's really modeled off children, right? Not to suggest that Bugs Bunny is supposed to be a child or anything, but you know what I mean. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's something. Honestly, it's not even something. You know, one of the things that would be weird for me. Well, because I don't have any reference that would fit that criteria, and I don't know. I just think it could be tricky. Could be tricky. With this model's X-ray, it just made me think of that. All right. Somehow it sounds so wrong. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, that's my kind of knee-jerk reaction too. A session of backs, says Tina. Love the back poses. Usually so peaceful and feel. I've got to say, back poses are probably my favorite to do. Not that we're doing any back poses today, unfortunately, because there's literally, for this model, there's literally only one back pose in the whole set, that I have anyway. And it's not a particularly interesting back pose. So anyway, but yeah, well, we could. We did a session of what turned out to be mostly back poses for a male model recently. Actually, that breast is a little bit low, but I'm going to leave it for now. I think we'll get away with it. Just my opinion, but once one can do the Vitruvian Man, it's just an exercise, whatever the image. Not quite sure, Whitney, what you mean by that. All right. See, try to do a nice thing. Come on a Monday and I don't know. Cutting that up a little bit, getting a little bit shorter in there. I'm going to get a little bit shorter in here too, but I've just got too much length in my lower torso. But it's relatively easily fixed. Just like that. All right. Thank you, Jeffrey. All right, getting close to a stage where we'll start to, well, we'll finish the shadow mapping and we'll do some colouring in. I think this leg is actually going back in space a little more. Out there. All right, good enough. Once you can do an ideal figure, everything else is just observation and applying. Well, I think that is a massive oversimplification of the process, but technically the statement is not incorrect, although it is, because I would argue there's a little bit more that really kind of so oversimplifies the choices that get made on any given moment when even doing something like this. Anyway. So I'm trying to go for fairly kind of strong, bold shapes, because we've got a very kind of definitive idea of what's in light and what's in shadow, right? So with that in mind, I'm going to try and keep my shapes of what's in light and what's in shadow but very kind of clear. It's the web, Richard. Alright, I'm so lost. I'm just going to draw. So just find those core shadows and transitions from what's in light and what's in tone. All right. Again. get this first pass down, do a little blending, and then we'll see where we're at. And let's draw our cast shadows on the floor here. It can help connect up these ideas. All right, let's do some blending. Blending. Mila says, challenge exercise for this model, draw with as minimum curves as possible. That's what I tried, because she looks round all over. Well, we've talked many times about just that, right? Like using as many straights as possible, right, in our drawing. And this is very much case in point. Almost more necessary when we're drawing these rounder, slightly softer models is the need to find and put in straights. So yeah, super important point. Thank you, Margie. Appreciate it. Yeah, look, let's let's finish this drawing, and then let's talk about straights and curves real quickly, because I do think it's important. So I'm going to go in and just hit just punch up a little bit of the cast shadows here and there. Giving away, just doing that under the breast there really kind of helps actually show the reflected light on the breast, especially if we just punch up that core shadow just, you know, like 10% kind of thing right in there. And we can do that in a few more places too. I think we need it here too. With coming off this cast shadow, it's another. Now, we don't want to overcook it, right? But this cast shadow coming off this arm, we definitely need to punch this thing up a little bit. else are we getting that? Helps a little bit. Same thing here, another cast shadow, quite an aggressive one coming right from here. And so let's punch that up just a tiny bit. Alright, it's a little bit too much. They call this music from Slovakia, I think, but I would say nay to that statement. Could not sound more Irish to me. Anyway. Alright, I think we're probably good. Thomas says, damn, I didn't get notified for the live stream. I do have college deadline. Well, the streaming on Mondays is it's a new development. Well, a new old development. We used to stream on Mondays all the time. And I decided to bring it back for the new year. So there you go. But you'll know from now on. All right, so we'll just punch just a little bit here. And we'll call it on this one, I think. This feels like it's probably a good place to call it. We've gone 32 minutes, yikes. Time flies. Yeah, I'm gonna call it there, I think. Fun pose, fun model. Rick, don't utter any of that. That's the whole point. Thank you, Whitney. All right. So the next pose, I believe, memory serves, we are going to go to landscape. Oh no, not for the pose 3, but they'll go to landscape. Not quite yet. All right, got ahead of myself. Cool. All right, let's reset the old clock. Here we go. Quick sip of tea. This one does. Oh, he's Myth Lulu. Don't misconstrue the energy. All right. Who's brave enough to draw a smile? No, let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right. Time for a new pencil. Cool. Let me set the clock. And let's draw. Oh, before we do, I want to talk about design language quickly. Sorry, guys. I'm going to even I'll reset the clock. Because I think this is super important. And I won't belabor the point, but I do want to talk about, we talked about, Mila made a very astute point about the challenge to be to try and put less curves in your drawing. And this to me is the foundation of good design language. It's not to eliminate curves completely. That would serve just as, that would be just as bad as too many curves. But we want to look for an opportunity for shape dynamics and to let our curves bring tension, because the curve is set against a straight. So for example, if we take this passage here, it could be very tempting to round off, or to, this could even actually, honestly, this could even be straighter. But look at the way we have a straight working against the curve. And the overall dynamics and relationship. And not just between here and here, but also the shape dynamics of our core shadows also play a part in that dance, right? Because look at this line coming up here. It's not just mirroring what's going on here. This is actually showing form, right? We've got a straight and a straight. And this is actually showing a plane change right here, right? Going from that into that. It's flat surface of the back of the arm, right? So that's this thought process behind a decision like that, right? Let me just go back to this pose. Should probably just finish that off. There we go. But I'm always looking for opportunities to bring straights. We got a very straight passage with this bicep, and then we got, but even here there's a direction change, right? From right here, curve into a straight, almost a curve going in the opposite direction, into another curve, into a straight, and then out. These are very conscious and, in my opinion, important decisions as part of your process when you're trying to think about your design language. So we go from a straight into a curve, and then we're going really straight all the way, and then into another curve in here, right? Same thing here, curve, straight, straight, curve, and then this is a curve, but there's very conscious and deliberate direction change, right? So be mindful of that. When you see a passage, like a long passage, like from here, for example, all the way down to her knee, we've got direction change here. This is straight, really, right? Straight, straight. Direction change here. A direction change here, a direction change here, a direction change here, and a direction change here. That is a conscious, deliberate act. It'd be very easy to even simplify that down to a curve here and then a curve here. But you need to push to think beyond the most simplistic ideas of what the shape language can be, and try and bring a little bit more kind of visual interest into what it is that you're doing, right? Look at even just, well, one last example, but direction change here, direction change here, direction change here, here, and then kind of, I would even argue another one about here. And then look at the way we got straights and then a curve. Direction change right here, and then another curve coming in here. So, as I said, that's a very deliberate direction change that I'm making, and I'm very conscious of each one that I'm making and the reason that I'm making it. Sometimes I'm over exaggerating something I see. Sometimes it's just I think it will look nice, It's not really a formula as to why I'll make a direction change. I'll see something in the reference or on the model that will suggest to me that how I might want to handle the grammar of a particular passage. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the other drawing. I thought it was mostly muscle memory. If you, Richard, could. No, it's absolutely. Look, the muscle memory is in the looking for and then translating an idea. That is muscle memory. But the conscious process of those direction changes are absolutely a decision that I'm making, not just something that's happening organically. Right? Let me reset the clock. Thank you for bearing with me through that. Okay. Let's get in our large ideas. Iliac Crest is going to be about here. It's certainly where the direction changes. Coming across. Direction changes here, right? Coming down this way. We have a direction change. It's happening about there. But then that's fine. That's coming down this way. But then look where this fold is for this leg. It's about here, all right? Then we look at the overall shape in here, the negative shape, the positive shape, I guess. So this leg is coming out this way. Knee is sitting about here. Coming down like so. So this leg is definitely coming towards us, right? It's kind of doing this. And if we look at it in its simplest idea, the coarse shadow really helps us understand that we're essentially dealing with a very kind of almost box-like shape, right? There's a turn of form right around here. We'll subtle this up a little, but in the spirit of thinking volumetrically, that's essentially the large idea of the shape. That's great, Jeffrey. Glad to hear it. We've got quite a lot of business with the hands and everything going on here, so we want to make some, we'll call them careful choices about what it is that we are ultimately going to show. So this leg is going behind her there. She's sitting on this poof. Let's just kind of suggest it for a second. It's like really just a simple box, but kind of useful to understand it. I've just drawn this a little bit big. The foot's going off the bottom. Oh well, let's leave it. Maybe we could push. Let's see. Can still fix the proportions on that. We'll see. Okay. Maneuvering. Clavicle. Head of the humerus is about here, right? She's kind of pushing the shoulder forward. Once again, shoulder, sitting here. And this tricep is sitting here. And we've got a bit of weight at the bottom of it there. Brachioradialis. And shoulder on this side. Okay. Let's see here. Let's find the mass of the breast sitting in there. Then the transition into the pectoral sitting in here. We will have a direction change. There. Okay. Right back here, we've got the scapula. And it's creating a very flat passage. So you can see we got like a little bit of weight right there. Then we've got a scapula, and then we're coming into the bulk of the trapezius, which kind of comes in and sits in there. Yeah, we'll refine this. Sounds good. Whoa, that's quite the volume. That's quite the volume change, but that does make sense. This is closer to here than out here. Okay. So this arm coming down this way. And we got this hand. I'm not a big fan of the way that hand is just sitting there. What can we do with it? Let's give it just a little bit more angle. So it's not just flat like that. It feels a little weak. I think even that will help. And direction changes about here to here, and then into the home stretch in there. And once again, we'll refine that as we go. great shapes through this knee. I'm going to save those till I come in to tie everything down, because there's a lovely passage through there on the knee. Okay. We also have our tone pass, which is going to bring more to the table, so we need to be, you know, careful we don't make things too busy too soon. Let's find some core shadows here. All right. Okay. Let's get down to business. Once again, trying to be super mindful of direction changes and straights against curves, right? Let's not forget that. Coming up to what is essentially quite a flaccid bicep, but look at, we want to suggest that fat pad, right? It's sitting at the top, because we do love that upper arm, underarm fat pad. So once again, starting off with a straight, coming in, direction change, direction change, direction change, right? That's the way. Bit of weight right there, just above the elbow, where the weight of the tricep and the weight of her arm just kind of presses down on that form just ever so slightly, and it gives us an opportunity to just pull in and just add a little bit of dynamics. Something like that. Yeah. We've got the rib cage kind of revealing itself in there. Something like so. Ah, Rick. What Lulu said. Now, getting there. 15 minutes. I think we're doing pretty good. So you want to make that very subtle transition from the mass of the breast into the pectoral, right? So the pectoral here is even though you would think about the breast being the largest part of the mass, I'm actually pushing the shape of the pectoral there, because then it helps show that the breast has gravity that's kind of pushing down against this form, right? That makes sense? Trapezius kind of transitioning into the clavicle there. Ankle and then into the heel of the foot, and then we're drawing off the page. Now, as I said, we've got a lovely design language idea down here, so let's see if we can do some of that. Something like that. Got our patella kneecap sitting in here. All right. Mila, you've been a member since the beginning, so you should have, well, you should have been bookmarking the references as you went along, and then you'd have them all. But as you didn't do that, because people seem to have a blind spot for bookmarking things, email me. If you email me on my website, I will give you a list of all the references, okay? But you may need to upgrade, and I feel bad even saying that, but the reality is there's some videos that you simply won't be able to access at the regular tier, member tier, because some of them are for serious, are just set at the serious student tier. So anyway, if you email me, I should be able to at least hook you up with the reference links, because you've been a member since the beginning. Okay, we're getting close to being ready to hit this with some tone. So let's do that. I must say, Mila, that's quite the redo all the streams from the beginning. That's quite the task. Good luck with that. That's quite something if you can pull that off. All right. Okay, let's hit some of these cool shadows. Nice cast shadow under here, so we can give that a little bit of an extra kick, so to speak, when we come to filling in the tones. $360 hours. That's how much stream. That's that's conservatively based on them each being 2 hours, Lulu. I think between all the streams, you can probably add another 10 hours to that number. Many of them are over 2 hours. But yes, that's crazy. All right. Well, I'm not going to doubt you, Lulu, or Mila, for one moment. All right, so this whole area is in tone, but we are going to actually add a bit more into our, into our cast shadow, even through here. Anyway, let's get in our basic shadow cast. The views of Drop Rants is barely 3 hours of content. Fair. When you're right, you're right. What can I say? Wow. Thanks, Rick. All right, let's hit a few more. Let's hit these cast shadows. Let's knock them back just a little bit more. What we can also do to even help the cast shadow out is we can just punch up a little bit of our reflected light there, like that, for example. Right. Alright, just going to hit a couple of these highlights, get them back in. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. Where are we at? 27 minutes. Okay. Alright, we're getting there. Question asks Heather. If I post on Facebook or IG nudes, will I be shadow banned? Can't promise you won't be, Heather. I'm pretty sure I have received shadow bans in the past. Yeah, I think it definitely can get you flagged. Not to say it will, but as a repeat offender, I have definitely felt the effects of being shadow banned. I believe, at least, unless I'm wrong, but I think the algorithm picks up on what it considers not safe for work content, and I think that it, in its mind, protects its viewers. Okay, I think that that'll do it. Another fun pose, huh? Yeah, that was good. Okay. Pose number 2 done. We are moving on to landscape, if I am not mistaken. This next one's going to be a bit of a challenge. That's why we're here, right? Shadow ban question mark? Yeah. Where you get unofficially banned. Cool. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. Always. Okay, guys. I'm not in the mood for that. Nope. Let's get this back on here. And let's move on to our other landscape aspect ratio. Now, let's just get things right here. That's pretty good, isn't it? Good enough. I don't know if it helps to bring this light over. Not really. All right. As long as you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, this one's a cracker. Love this pose, but it's a toughie. I already can feel myself being mentally spent by the end of it. I'm sure that it'll be a case of the fourth pose will be a relatively short one. Actually, let's try 4B. Let me reset the clock. Yeah, we've drawn this one before, Mile. You are correct. All right, it's a good pose. Let's see. It's, for me at least, easier to treat, even though it's not a foreshortened pose, right? Like, there's actually a strong argument could be made for there's almost no foreshortening in this pose at all. I still tend to treat them in the same way as foreshortened poses. What I mean by that is, you know, I'm not as quick to find big, long gestural lines, and more just kind of get straight into just measurement and thinking about boxes and how things relate to each other in space. If that makes sense. So there's going to be one of my high points. Navel is going to be sitting about there. With that said, this leg, if that's the navel, and it seems like as good a point as any, this leg is actually sitting down here. So I'm going to kind of, to some degree or another, I'm going to measure to that. This really requires a lot of attention. The oblique is sitting in about here. Can't see it really, but what I'm trying to establish is where this form is turning in space. This breast is sitting about here. Yeah, tough. The drama in this one, yeah, it's great. It's just a classic pose, isn't it? So, coming from here, I've got the head of the humerus is sitting up here. Arms coming down this way. I'm not very chatty right now. I'm focusing like my life depends on it. Okay. Something like that. I got the weight of this tricep and this thing's coming down this way. We're sitting here. Crazy. Deltoid is sitting about there. This is a clumsy measurement on my part, but I think I'll be able to fix it. I think. Okay, so this is also clumsy. It's about here. So the wrist can be about there, and the least fingers coming down. Okay. Other arm, it's also sitting back here. It's coming down this way. Need a sip of tea. It's too much. Now, let's just take stock here for a quick second. So now, side of the box of the pelvis is about here. Okay. Navel. Sit about here, so that's right, okay. Alright, I think I'm alright. So yeah, don't like this at all. Clumsy drawing. Clumsy drawing. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see if I can fix it. I get what you're saying, Mila. The idea of breathing in rhythm and that, yeah. I think it is. I think it's interesting concept. That flow state, right? I think that's maybe what we're talking about. Mark, how you doing, man? Hope you're well. Hope you got home safe. I saw Mark in London just a couple of days ago. And his far better other half. Okay. I think I can salvage some of this as I do tie down, but I'm not happy. Not happy at all. But yeah, I think I think it's ultimately fixable. It was great seeing you too, man. Thanks for dropping by our little country. I guess it's like public speaking. If you are nervous, you tend to talk really fast, not take time to breathe, and your sentences are getting really long, and the audience notices you. Is ad bestias Mila? Yes, Rick. Yeah, when Ramila first joined the stream, she made sure to tell us that her name was actually Mila. Ad bestias. Ad bestias. Official, right? Is that a band, Mila? I'm curious. Is that band account or something like that? Official. So it's official for something. Let us know. I'd be curious. Now you have to. Ad bestis is definitely Mila. Don't worry about that. You got that right. Right, Mila? Come on, speak up. People are waiting on you. All right, let's do some tie down here. No good or bad place to really to start, or is there? You know what? I'm going to start with the along the top because I think it will be easier for me to adjust down should I need to. Okay. Head of the humerus. Coming down, kind of meeting up with the deltoid and the tricep, kind of in a... press too hard. Kind of in that single idea, coming down this way. Something like so. And we got a very subtle transition saying in here, and we're going to just you know, we've got this kind of idea going on again, don't we? Bicep sitting in here, back pad sitting in here, etc. It's my band. Well, Mila, you need to now send us a link to some music. You know the drill. I tapped out on this one. Rick, start over. You don't get to tap out. You have to keep going until you get it right. I'd like you to do this drawing 10 times. Bit of weight there, then rib cage coming down, then oblique coming down to here, and then sitting on top of the iliac crest. We made it. All right, we're good. Now let's take top here and hitting the arch of the rib cage, coming down this way. Coming down. Like so. You're not the boss of me. No, I'm just trying to guilt you into suffering along with me, Rick. That's all. This is all going to be filled in. There's a lot of darkness happening in this whole area. Okay, let's keep going. I don't think this is going to be a great drawing by any stretch, but I do think maybe we've got rid of some of the worst offending ideas. Or maybe not. Let's see. Or maybe I spoke too soon. And she's sitting on this box, or laying on this same thing that she was laying on earlier. Something like that. The pets always know. Right. Okay. All right, let's find some core shadows. By the way, how is Penny doing? I love that dog. You've no idea. I love that dog. She is doing fantastic, thank you. And she is awesome. And she has me wrapped around her little paw. And I am quite happy with that situation. And yeah, she's brilliant. Now, in saying that, I've taken more walks in miserable bloody weather because of that dog. Walks that I would quite happily have not taken, frankly. Yeah, there are times where I'm like, really, we gotta go out today? I'm just like, yeah, of course we're going out. Who cares if it's raining? She doesn't share my, sense of wanting to keep warm and dry. She's like, no, let's go. You'll towel me dry when we get back, remember? After I've rolled in fox poo and you've had to shower me when we get home, you'll towel me off and I'll be dry and warm by the fire, and it'll be fine. What's the big problem? Seems to be the way she operates. And yes, she does love to roll in fox poo. We live in a very rural area of which, so there is plenty for her to roll in. And there is no stopping her. And that's challenging to my patience sometimes. Especially when you've been on a long walk, you're tired, weather's miserable, you just want to go home and get into the house, and then you have to, you know, set up the whole outdoor shower operation, which of course also requires you bringing in warm water or hot water from inside the house because, you know, God forbid she have a cold shower. It's a whole thing, but I love it to bits. Dogs are stupid. Yeah, they are stupid, and I sure wouldn't change it for a minute. Sound is really good, by the way. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Yeah, I had a Mark's got engineering skills, and I was talking about the stream to him, so appreciate that, Mark. Penny is adorable. Yeah, I'll put some pictures of Penny up on the on Discord. You guys can see her. She's going to be 1 in a couple of weeks. This is all part of Richard's cat hating campaign. Rick, okay, I'm going to make you feel really guilty now. We actually had to put our cat down the day on Christmas Eve. Happy? Thanks, Rick. I don't know. We had Cecil. He was 13 years old. He was a lovely cat. Thank you, Rick. I'm just trying to make you feel bad. But no, but it's true. We did have to put the little fella down on Christmas Eve, which was very tough. Not a cat hater. Do I prefer dogs? Yeah. Anyway, he was a good cat. We actually got him from a shelter in when we were living in California, and he had feline AIDS, so no one would adopt him. So of course, me being the sucker that I am, I ended up adopting him. He was a sweetheart. He was a really good cat. Let's all draw a penny. We could, you know. Plenty of pictures of Penny. That would be easily done. It's okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. But we're okay. We'll miss the little fella. But yeah. I mainly brought it up just to make Rick feel bad. That's all. Oh, that reminds me, I want to try something. Okay. Alright, so this is feeling very clunky and formulaic and not happy with this at all just yet. I think it could potentially be salvaged, but it's definitely falling into that category of things I'm not sure I can be bothered to salvage. So now is the debate. What do I want to do here? Thank you, guys. That's very kind of you. All the creatures. Yeah. You know what I think it's interesting? Well, not interesting, but state Captain Obvious here, but it just reminds you of just how at our complete and utter mercy they are, you know? And I think that's something that really gets kind of highlighted when you have a situation like that. It's just like, that's why we have to be good to our little furry friends. Because they're just at our mercy. Alright, we'll give this like a couple more minutes, see if this is to be salvaged. I think that probably not, but you know. It's worth a couple of minutes extra. Alright, now let's see here. Yeah, this drawing is lame. Blech. Awful. Okay, what am I doing here? Why am I even bothering? It's a shame, but oh well. Alright, well this one will be lighting the fire tonight. Much we know. Alright. Oh, every time I look at it on camera it looks even worse. Okay. Alright, we're done. This is awful. Come on. Yeah. Terrible, boring. Alright. Last pose. Back to portrait. Let me just clean my filthy hand. We need a drawing by the fire stream. You know what we need? We need a stream where you decide to stream me scrunching up drawings and throw them in the fire. Take care, Rick. You have to drive through a snowstorm to a client. Well, look, good luck, man. Stay safe, okay? Good. Good for you, Tina. I'm glad to hear it. Awesome, Rick. Yeah, I think Monday's a bit of fun, right? It's good to have them back into the rotation. Yeah, take care of yourself, man. Okay. Let's finish. Well, it's just coming up to 10 to 7 in the evening here. I would suggest that we we do about a 10-minute pose, huh? Okay. Let me get a fresh pencil. I think, you know what happened? I think that second pose, you know, I've talked before about like me hitting my mental kind of bandwidth limits. I think that second pose did it. I think by the time I got to that third one, I should have changed the order of those two. If I'd wanted that third one to be the one of the session, so to speak, I should have changed the order. Anyway, we're going to work up to the hour on this last pose. So let's go. I'm actually going to be pushing the angles slightly away from what's happening in the reference here. I think I want to bring a bit more dynamics. I'm not crazy about the lean on her upper torso here. I'm just going to shift it ever so slightly. Jesus. Okay, let's see here. Okay, all right, that'll do. That'll do. Maneuvering. Clavicle. Arch of the rib cage. Sitting about here. That crest coming down this way. Inguinal. Okay. Something like that. Fantastic shapes here. This triceps. And then look at the relative straight of the bicep in comparison, right? Coming back to what we were talking about earlier. Joyce, hi Richard, what is discourse and how do I find it? Discourse is basically, we have a forum over on Discourse where people post their work, chat about stuff, drawing and non-related stuff. On occasion, Lulu posts his inventions on there. little stuff like that. Where can you find it? Good question. It's available to all members. I will put in the morning, I won't get a chance to do it tonight, but in the morning I will put an invite link to the Discord channel. I'll put it in the community chat, okay? You can follow that link. I think it's recommended that you download the Discord app. Now, I'm not a Discord expert, but I believe everything just runs an awful lot smoother if you have the app. And you can get it for the computer or, you know, for your phone or whatever. It seems like it's a good idea. I don't think you have to. I think it can be browser-based, but I think the app's a really good idea. Oh, I have majorly screwed up here. All right. Let's fix it. So I'm not paying attention. Something like that. This will be fine. Bit of an unorthodox way to get there, but it'll be okay. Unorthodox is maybe the wrong way of putting it, just bad. Might be more to the point. Oh well, not to worry. We'll again on Thursday. All right, let's see now. All right. Yeah, what a mess. Okay. Wow. Okay. That just goes to show, doesn't it? You just think everything's gonna go okay, and then 2 in a row just decide to embarrass you. Might be able to salvage it with a bit of creative light and tone. Oh, we're at the 10-minute mark. That's convenient. I can technically now bail at any time, which is delightful. But I will continue just for a couple more minutes because I do want to at least, you know, guess I'd like to torture myself. Yeah, horrendous. Anyway. Take care, Patrick. Yeah, exactly. Nothing like a bit of self-flagellation. Yeah, like just keep things real. All right, quick coloring in, and then we're gonna call it, and we're gonna get out of here for a few days. Then we'll be back on Thursday. We'll do it all over again. Thursday will most likely be something other than full figure, and when I say most likely, like almost definitely, like hedge about 90 to 95% that being the case. Will we do hands and feet, for example? Will we do something maybe more portraiture related? I don't know yet, but it won't, very likely won't just be a figure drawing session. Okay, so sharpen your pencils and plan on drawing something different. All right, well, what can I say? To say that did not go as planned would be a bit of an understatement. But I'm not going to sweat it. It happens. Guys, that was tough. Those last two kicked my butt, and I think I'm going to have to put it down to fatigue. mental fatigue. I think, you know, I do definitely, I do hit a wall at some point, sometimes sooner than other times. And yeah, that second to last pose threw me, and then the last one was just, well, what can I say? All part of the journey, as I've said many times. They're not all going to be gold. Love the Monday, says Tina. You're great. Glad to hear it. And thank you all. Thank you all for joining me. Yeah, Mondays are back. Thursday, remember, be ready for something different. But hopefully it will be a bit of fun. Guys, take care of yourselves. Try and ease into this new year. Okay, it's always a bit weird when everyone starts going back to work, and you know, it's like Christmas is over. Such is life. Anyway, we will continue. Guys, have a smashing week, and I will see you all Thursday. All right, cheers.